Guys, I want to thank you so much for giving us an opportunity here at North American Senior Benefits to share our platform with you. You know, what every company in America is looking for is momentum. That's what every sports team, that's what every growing organization is in search of. And I can tell you now, that's what North American has, and that's why you're watching. This video is going to give you an opportunity to look behind the scenes, kind of look under the hood, so to speak, at the life change that is taking place with our agents and with the seniors with whom we sit. So if you would sit back, take some notes over the next 30 minutes because it can truly, for the next 30 years, change your financial life. So let's take a look at a conversation that can show you a little bit more what North American Senior Benefits is all about. Now, one of the things I can tell you is none of us got here on purpose. I always make the joke to people that I talk to around the nation that we fail our way, or life has a way of forcing us into an industry that we never thought we would have been in. Only when we find ourselves here, we're super glad that we made it, however it came about. Between 1946 and 1964, there was a generation of people born called the baby boomers. Many of you are familiar with that. And if you'll study your research nationwide, you'll see that this generation of people have absolutely fueled our nation's economy. I can take you back to when these children were literally toddlers and the Gerber baby food market began to explode. Now, I don't know if you have kids. I have an 18-month-old. She loves Gerber baby food. And every now and then I have to sample some just to get her to eat her bananas or squash or grapes. I can tell you now, the baby food isn't the secret. The secret was there were so many kids coming through that demographic and area, but the Gerber baby food grandmothers couldn't help but succeed. Fast forward a few years, now these kids aren't 2, 3, and 4. Now they're 5, 6, 7, and 8. And guess who's waiting? The Schwinn bicycle family. Now, I was always a BMX bike guy myself, but the Schwinn family made literally millions of dollars. Why? Not because their bike was that much better, but they were at the right place at the right time. Fast forward, now these kids are 16, 17, 18, 19, and guess who's waiting? Chevrolet, Ford, GMC. The Mustang is there, the Camaro is there, and they literally cleaned house. There again, not that their cars weren't cool, because they are. There were so many kids coming through that demographic and that marketplace, they couldn't help but succeed. Guys, I can take you and show you how the housing market fueled our nation's economy, largely because there were so many people at that time in that demographic that they could not help but be successful. Well, you can fast forward now because these individuals are turning 65. And no one dreamed in a million years there would be this much opportunity and this much money when we're able to help and serve and meet the needs of seniors literally across the nation. So I want to bring on a couple of guys with me that have been very instrumental in not only growing North American Senior Benefits, but in serving and meeting the needs of the seniors in the communities and the cities with which they reside. The first is out of Mobile, Alabama, Orange Beach specifically. He's one of our senior regional vice presidents. His name is Chris Isbell. And Chris, it's a pleasure to have you on with me.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming up and spending the time. Chris, just to tell the individuals a little bit about you, you made millions in real estate. Man, I thought I was making money till I met you, brother. And you kind of explained and told me a little bit of your story, how that things were going great until the economy crashed. And you and I both know there are hundreds of people that share that same just story that have joined the North American family. Talk to us a little bit about what attracted you to this opportunity, what attracted you to the Milliner Group, specifically North American Senior Benefits, and what kind of a difference it's made in your life.
Just like you said, when a lot of people come on board, they come on the heels of a bad experience, and that was our story. My wife and I were in real estate, like you mentioned, for, 10 years. We had a real estate company, and we did great. We started with $1,000, and just following a simple system, we were able to turn that $1,000 into a multi-million-dollar company just by following a system that somebody else created. And we weren't reinventing the wheel or anything, but we were able just to participate and just to follow it, duplicatable system. And so we became very successful, but when the economy turned, it was over for us. That was it. And So we had to start completely over. We picked up our family, we moved to another area, and then we started looking. I said, if I ever get a chance to find another platform or another vehicle to be able to get us back where we were, that I was going to hold on with both hands and not let go. And so I got into final expense sales. Didn't even know what that was. Introduced to it by my father, actually, who got into the business and said, he was making good money. So I jumped in. It was better than the pizzas I was delivering after our fall. So we ended up doing that and paying our bills, working our way out of our hole. And when we wanted to take it to the next level, I began looking for another system that I could plug into. So we did that. We talked to several people. We talked to several companies. And what we found at NASB was a very, very solid duplicatable system that we could follow. And what we found not only was a good system, but was a name. The company that we're affiliated with has been in business for almost 60 years. And they've done it before. They've got a track record. And just the character of these people, when we sat down and met with Chad Milliner and the Milliner family and the other partners at the home office, it was an open book. It was very, very transparent. Here's what we've done. Here's where we've been successful. Here's some mistakes that we've made. And just wide open with everything that they're doing. And so those two things, the system that we had to run on, I knew that I could be successful plugging into it. And the character, the track record of the company that we're affiliated with, hands down beat anybody else we looked at. So that's where we made our decision to come on board.
Worse than joining a company and not succeeding is joining a company and doing very well. And then having it built on a foundation that isn't built on integrity, that isn't built on loyalty to the individuals that have created that, and then having that taken from you. Many people have experienced that. That's one of the things that myself and my two partners have vowed, that our name is more important to us than the amount of money we make, because that's what's going to continue to sustain not only the Milliner Group, but North American Senior Benefits. Isaac, when you and I met, was in Texas a few years back, and it was amazing. I always talk about you behind your back as pound for pound, one of the strongest 29-year-olds in the industry. You are 29, correct?
Close enough.
Close enough, right. And so talk to people about what we do, because when people are watching this video that have never been affiliated, never been in the field, never had a day in the life of a final expense agent, man, it can be culture shock if they've never been out there. So talk to us a little bit about specifically what we do. How do we make money? When do we get paid? And just whatever you'd say to that.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate the question, Craig, and thank you so much for having me on here. Really, it's probably my favorite thing to talk about. I talk about it every week, just trying to let people know, hey, this is what we do. This is what's going to change your family's life. This is what you can do to make money. And bluntly, what we do is we sell life insurance. Okay, we sell life insurance to the lower middle income United States of America. This demographic that you're talking about, Craig, this huge demographic that's continuously getting larger and larger and larger. That the largest portion of that demographic, the ones that actually need our help, is a group that's the 50 and 85 years old, but it's typically lower middle income. And we'll kind of talk about where we sell and who we sell to a little bit more. But really, it's these folks that don't have a financial planner. It's the people that don't have these huge 401ks. Their family truly needs $10,000-$15,000 of coverage that's going to be there on that day to make sure there's money to put them in the ground or takes care of some other final expenses. And so, how we do it, it's whole life insurance. You're not going to go out and sell a 60-year-old, 70-year-old term insurance. We want to make sure that they have something there. Sure. And so it's whole life insurance. It's simplified underwriting. What that means for some of the folks watching that may not have a lot of experience in the life insurance business, there's fully underwritten life insurance where you have to send a nurse out there and you have to collect blood, urine, the whole deal just to get them some insurance. It takes 3-4 months to get paid. And what we do is something called simplified, which makes this business a cash flow business where you can go in, get your license, or if you're already licensed, hit the ground running, use our turnkey system to make money immediately, which really makes it an attractive opportunity for some folks watching, is that ability to go out and do simplified insurance on a class or a group of people that really need our help, that truly need our help. If you don't help them, they could leave their family with a huge burden. So we have multiple ways of working with our lead program. It's not cold calling, which I'm grateful for. Just when I used to go and sell things door to door, that's where I came from, and I'm extremely grateful for the lead program that we use. Mainly a direct mail lead program mixed with some phone leads, other ways just to get in front of people, and that's what the activity of the business is all about. What we do, it's a high activity business.
Sure.
Sometimes I tell folks, if I'm talking to them, maybe they have a financial background, could be someone on the call or on the watching this video, and if I'm talking to them on the phone, I'll tell them, hey, this is not elephant hunting. You're not trying to get one policy a week or one policy a month. No, we're out there continuously helping as many families as we can. So either way, we get this lead, whatever type of lead it is, and you're actually going to the house. You're getting in your car, you're driving to these areas where these families are, going into their home, sitting on their couch at their kitchen table. You're not waiting for them to come into your brick and mortar facility where you're just sitting behind a desk all day. You actually have to get out there, go through your front door, and get through their front door. Once you get in the house, we have a sales process. We'll kind of talk about our training, I hope, and to make sure you can get something, avoid a check. And what these companies do is they pay you as if the person were to already pay 9 months of that policy up front. These companies, they'll pay you an advance commission on that policy. Typically, within 3 to 5 days of you sitting with a family submitting the application, you're going to have $400, $500, $1,000 deposited into your bank account on any given sale. So having the ability, Craig, to really just be able to make this a cash flow, be able to come in, get your license, and start making money immediately, I think it makes it a great opportunity, and I love every moment of it.
Sure.
I truly feel at the end of the day, going home, you really feel like you help someone out, and at the end of the day, it might be 5 years, it might be 10 years, when that person does pass away, you're really going to change that family's life, and that's very rewarding.
Well, the main reason we're here, as you know, is to make money.
Right.
And the fulfilling thing is that we can change the lives of the seniors with whom we sit while we're making a tremendous income ourselves.
Right.
And a lot of people may not know your story, but when you first got into the business, lovely wife Jessica, 2 beautiful kids, left from 4 hours away, just got in the car, drove to take a look at an opportunity. There's a lot of people that are watching right now, and I know how it is, because I've been hit on by pretty much any MLM you can imagine.
Yeah.
When you find a guy that's charismatic, that can talk and work hard, they're going to find you. I can tell you now, that's not what we are. That's not what we do. It's not a part of our culture. But specifically, when we get down to how it is that we locate the individuals that we're talking about, these seniors age 65 to 80, you have to have a lead program. You have to have a program that can put you in front of qualified, interested individuals. I've probably hired 200-300 people in the last 5 years that have made it in the business. And the one question that all of them inevitably ask is, Craig, how do we find these folks? And so locating these people, finding them, Chris, that's really an art versus a science. And we do a really good job of it. Talk about what the leads cost. Talk about how far we have to travel to sell them, and what someone may want to hear about the NASB lead platform.
Yeah, I've been a part of several different lead programs in my career. In fact, I just got off the phone with a guy who was with the company that I was with previously, and the way that we did it with them is we actually paid for the entire mail drop. So we would drop $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to get our leads out there, and whatever response we got is what we got. So if we got a poor response, we were paying a ton of money per lead. So you had to be really good to be able to make your money back on that. We've been part of lead programs where you would have to start paying for leads, say week 1, but you may not get them until your 5th or 6th week that you've been paying for them. So you're just sitting there waiting on leads to come in. Well, what I love about our lead program is, number one, we don't start paying for them until we get them. So it's immediate, so we can start selling. And the second thing is it's a fixed cost. There's no guessing, okay, what kind of response am I going to get from this? We know exactly what we're paying for our platinum leads. Our platinum lead, or our A lead program, is the one where it's fresh, it's exclusive to us when we order them. Those are $21. It costs $30 to $35 to generate that lead. But our company, NASB, subsidizes the cost of those leads so that we know exactly what we're paying, and they pick up big part of that tab for us, so we can be more successful and be more profitable, which is really nice. And so what we do is we get the leads, they mail to our demographic in the areas that we have requested. We try to keep people within 60 miles of their home. We can't do it every time, but that's our goal. That's what we try to do. And where you can be home with your family at night. A lot of people, watching this, maybe traveling, 2 states over to go and sell, living out of a hotel room, and not being with their families except on weekends. And what I love about what we do is we can come home at the end of the day and be with our families. So that's where we try to keep our folks. Our leads say life insurance. They don't talk about, you'll get a free, Ginsu steak knife, or you'll get a free flashlight if you sit down and listen to me. They talk in 3 different places. They talk about life insurance. And it's so much better walking in. I talked to a guy earlier today down in my area who said, Chris, I just can't believe the difference in these leads and what I used to work, because they talk. I just show up at the door and say, somebody in this house wants some life insurance. And that was it. And it gets him in the house, and he's able to go right into what he's talking about. There's not a lot of pivoting you have to do. So it's much easier when, I like to think of myself more as an order taker than a salesperson, because you're just giving the people what they requested. And so we have a great lead program. We also have 2 different levels, additional levels, in addition to our platinum leads at $21 a piece. After a lead is 40 days old, then they go on the market. If they haven't resulted in the sale previously, an application hasn't been taken, then they go back on the market and they're sold for $10. These are leads that there's a lot of money in them. If somebody's getting 20, 30 leads a week as a platinum lead, they'll just call, set some appointments, and move on to the next week. Then they may be able to take those $10 gold leads and door knock them at a different time of the day, call them in the evening, and be able to reach somebody. There's a lot of money in those gold leads, and they're only $10. Then we've got our 3rd tier, which is our silver. Those are $4. Those are 100 days old. It's the same lead. It's a card that they have filled out with their signature on it. They've written their age, and everything is on the card. They have sent it back into the company, and it's just older. It's the same lead as the platinum lead. It's just older, and there's a lot of money in those as well. So that's our different tiers of our lead program. Their prices are fixed, and they say life insurance. So that's what I like about them.
So let me get this straight. I can partner with you guys. I get leads that say life insurance. Mm-hmm. I get paid upon meeting a need, getting an answered question, yes, Isaac, within 72 hours, between $400 and $800, $1,000 if it's a larger case, deposited into my account. Wow, that it seems as though if somebody's hungry, if somebody wants to make money, if somebody really has a desire to better their situation, to take themselves from where they are to where they want to go, it's an extremely profitable platform. I can tell you, when we created this, it's an agency built and created by agents. We sat around, these 2 gentlemen were a part of our founding team, our inner circle, when we sat down and said, what kind of a firm do we want to create? What kind of a house do we want to build? What's the paint color? What do we want the furniture to look like? We tried to build it so that you watching would be able to say, you know what, that's the kind of partners that I'd like to associate myself with, align myself with, and I feel like those guys can help me go to another level. Now, we always talk about this, guys. We don't coach work ethic. You ever hired a soft worker? Isaac, you ever talked to somebody and they said, now, listen, you need to know I'm lazy. All right? No, everybody's a hard worker, right? Everybody's a tail buster, right? Well, that sometimes remains to be seen. We teach and we coach technique. We're going to show you how to turn a maybe into a yes. We're going to show you how to turn someone that says, I want to think about it, into someone that says, you know what, I've thought about it long enough. When you filled the card out, you were thinking about it. Somebody was on your mind. And we're here to alleviate that burden, to meet that need, and to put your mind at ease, knowing that when your number gets called, that you're leaving not a bill, but a check. Talk about our sales culture, Isaac, because we have spent a lot of time, energy, effort crafting this. A lot of us are former athletes. You were a former outside linebacker. I played quarterback. Chris, you were in the band. And no, I'm kidding. But nothing wrong with the band. But all of us are competitive. All of us watch each other's backs. There's a lot of things we do that make us unique. Through a 100K call that we participate in daily, through our trainings, 101, which is right now, 201, 301. which helps you master your craft, hone in on your technique. But talk about that sales culture that's made such a difference in both our lives.
Right. I mean, you used a word right there, Craig. You said unique, and that's really how I'd like to explain our sales culture. And when I say culture, I don't want people to get scared off. Sometimes maybe they're part of another organization where that culture is just a little too much. It's a little over the top. So I don't want people to feel that way when we use that word. But the culture is actually very, very important. Really, you can kind of sum it up with association, accountability, and activity. Okay, association. When I talk about association, we have the conference call in the morning. Okay, we have conventions. We have those type of events where you can come into the home office every first Friday of each month and really associate with the people you're working with. Not only in person at these conventions, these great conventions that we have, but on the conference calls we have in the mornings where we can get on and we can kind of talk about the day, basically. Being able to associate with your local manager and being able to go out to dinner with them, spend time with them, take time where you can go and sit with them and talk about the goods and bads of the business. And make sure you don't feel like you're on an island, really. And in each of these places, each of these areas that we're at, the next would be accountability. Not only, we're not talking about just an agent being accountable to the company. That's not what this is all about. It goes both ways. The managers, the regional vice presidents, the senior RVPs, they're accountable for each of their guys. They're accountable to one another. Not only, again, on the morning call, at these conventions, but really being there for each other. It's actually pretty wild to see how much that actually helps someone build trust with the company, where the managers, the owners, we're all accountable for each other. We're all in this together. And the last one is activity. Craig mentioned a lot of us are former athletes or want to be athletes, whatever you want to call it. Retired, right? Activity. We're not here to lie to you. This is not an MLM. This is not, hey, come here, invite your friends. Here's a box of soap or shampoo or a certain juice that cures cancer, where you don't have to do anything. When people talk to you about MLMs, it's always, oh, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything. That's part of the pitch. And with this, you have to do a lot. Flat out, our culture preaches high activity. If that makes you feel uncomfortable, it's not the spot for you, really, bluntly. It's a high activity every day. Get out there, go into these neighborhoods, get in front of these people, work your leads to conclusion. We preach that. We preach that at our conventions. We preach that on our conference calls. It's something that you hear a lot. It's not just, hey, come on, recruit 10 people and you're done working for the rest of your life. And there's your residual income. You're out there.
Heard that before.
Right. You're out there and you're working. You're out there when it's hot. You're out there when it's cold. You're going to work. And so I feel like we're very honest about that. We're very upfront with telling people, hey, when you come here, you're going to have to go to work. And so our culture is very unique in that way. We're not here to sell someone a pie in the sky. You hear on a daily basis, hey, this is what you need to be doing. You need to have high activity. And alongside that, maybe back with accountability, is the training that we offer is very important. I know Chris and we work together on a webinar where we do a webinar with folks where we can kind of go through how to fill out applications, how to contact these carriers, some of the underwriting, really, and then product knowledge. That's very important to someone that may not know about a company, may not know about a product. It really gives them a lot of confidence when they go to a home and they know everything about the product. One good thing about our culture, Craig, that I love is knowing that one of the partners of the company, one of the owners, was in the field with us, right? Spent 3 years working the same leads as everybody that's watching this, working the same leads as me, working the same leads as someone that's been with us for 1 month. He did the same thing as us. He's been out in there. He's been in the trenches with us, and that's you. And so knowing that you understand where a brand new agent is, you understand where it's at. You've done it. And it's not just sitting behind a desk somewhere and that's all you've ever done. No, you know where we're coming from, which is very unique in a way that it's not like you just started a company and that was it. Sure. You've experienced everything we're going through, which helps, I believe, new folks looking at this. It helps them respect the program a lot more. I feel like I could personally give someone maybe a brand new person watching this, right? I feel like I can give them a little bit more direction. They can trust me because I'm out there with them.
Sure.
I'm buying the same leads. I pay the same price. There's no favors as far as that goes. It's not like I get the good leads. We're working the same exact neighborhood. That's unique to me.
Sure.
Where you can have a regional manager that's doing the same thing as you. I think that builds a lot of trust, in my opinion.
Well, yesterday's home runs don't win today's ball games, y'all. We say that all the time. And so it's not necessarily about what we've done, but what we're doing. And if you're watching this, what we want to do for you. If we partner together, if you like us and conversely we like you, you're not just a number. We're going to get to know you. We're going to be engaged in your success. In other words, when someone fails here, and every now and then it does happen, we take it personally. We know when we partner together, we're hiring your wife, your husband, your kids, your future, and it matters to us that you make it. It matters to us that you're not a statistic, that this time next year and for years to come, that you're a part of this NASB family and, as Isaac has said, this NASB culture. It's not easy, and I want you to know that. It's difficult. For some more than others. I mean, if you have a positive mental attitude, if you're a charismatic individual that enjoys seeing all types of people, and you're willing to go to work, I'm going to tell you, I promise you, it is difficult to not make $100,000 a year. People ask me all the time, what does your average agent make? Well, we really don't have average agents, but the average income of just the, I would say, run-of-the-mill NASB agent is right at $100,000 a year. And we break that down in a later segment and show you specifically how you can make that by just going out every day and not coming home until you have obtained a very minimal amount of business. And when you do that 5 days a week, it's amazing when you work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, the kind of money that you can make in this business. Chris, the reality is, though, you can build a future for yourself. I have a son, Caden, have a daughter, Eden, and I plan on, as long as they want to, following in Daddy's footsteps and going into this industry. I know you have 3 children, as Isaac do you, and you do have 3, right?
I have 3.
That's what I thought. I'm just making. You kind of looked at me funny there. I thought maybe I was wrong. Isn't it great to know you can build something that maybe one day one of them can take, one of them can kind of have ownership of? Because there is a building platform. Now, I want to say this. We don't hire people that just want to hire people. That's the difference. So once you get great, not good, but great, yes, we want you investing in others. We want you teaching what it is that you know, and you can earn an amazing income, just astronomical as to what it can provide your family once you can reproduce yourself in others. So talk about our building platform. Okay. Talk about what we offer an individual in the way of helping them duplicate themselves in others.
A lot of it is what we've talked about already. It is a lot of the resources. One thing in our real estate career that something that the system that we used talked about was the power of leverage. And that could be leveraging anything. In the real estate investment arena, though, it was leveraging other people's money. And I invested millions of dollars, made millions of dollars, but I never used my own money. I always made sure I was using someone else's. Using the banks, I was using investors' money, I was using partners' money, and I was able to leverage that to be able to make myself successful. And so when I knew that when I looked for another system, that I needed to be able to have tools and resources available to me that I could leverage, because you can't do it all. You absolutely, it's like the turtle on a fence post. He didn't get there by himself. You have to have something you can plug into, and the systems that we've talked about a lot this morning, because my agents, my team members, that I really do have a vested interest in them being successful, because we do hire their families and we want their families to be taken care of, and I know that they'll be well taken care of in many different arenas. But the training programs, the daily calls that we do, the things, the lead program, all the things that we offer, my agents are able to plug into those things. I'm not having to go out and create all these things and do all this stuff on my own. So, I'm in business for myself but not by myself. And that is such a great thing to be a part of an organization that lends itself to all these different tools, resources, things that I can tap into and my agents can tap into.
It's good. Well, guys, I want to say this in closing. 5 years ago, and I always tell people, if you're looking for tenure, I'm not your guy. If you're looking for somebody that, like these guys, has been punched in the mouth by the economy, by things that transpired that weren't your fault. And many of you watching, your life hasn't ended up the way you thought it would. And you did everything you thought you were supposed to do, be it graduate college, get a good job, make good sound decisions. And then next thing you know, a phone call happened. Next thing you know, an email came through. Something transpired that took from you the opportunity or the platform, be it real estate, be it the different things, Isaac, that you have gone through, that really pulled the rug out from under you and blindsided you. Here's what I can promise you at North American Senior Benefits. We'll train you every day, every week, every quarter, every year. We'll pour into you the tools and the necessary technique where you can be educated, to where you have the knowledge to then couple with it the work ethic to go to another level. Here's the exciting thing that really kind of gets me pumped up for you, is that the worst days for some of you are behind you. Your best days are ahead of you. Houses that you've never been able to buy, cars that you've never been able to afford, your wife getting out of the job that she's in and being a stay-at-home mom. I'm telling you, I'm living proof. I was flat broke some 5 years ago. And now let's just say it's not that way anymore. And it's not my father or my grandfather or anything other than having the right platform and the right opportunity coupled with the right association, Isaac, as you mentioned, where the parts came together. I want to thank you so much for spending the last 30 minutes with us. I trust that it was an opportunity for you to look behind the scenes, under the hood, as we've said, at North American Senior Benefits. And for those of you that are serious, for those of you that are ready to take the next step, you need to get in touch with the person that asked you to watch the video. Spend some time with them. Sit down. Make sure that all of your questions are answered. Obviously, I know that we want to be sure that you're a fit for us. And as we are, welcome to our family. It's going to be an incredible ride.